full swing exercises. So those are exercises related to like full swing motion, but not hitting a ball.
With the golf club or without?
Without a golf ball. So
No club.
yeah, so no club. So we got a mirror right there, and we have a mirror right here. The guy who invented this saber stick actually got into the PGA Tour event this week, and he was I was about 13 years old. He was right out of college. He's about 10 years older than me. And we have the same philosophy, like fundamental, like if you do certain things correctly, like turn and balance, transition, backswing to downswing, you really don't have to practice that much. And he's played in 4 tour events now as an instructor, and I've played in 2, so we think it works. Doing like swing exercises at home versus beating golf balls on the driving range. With this, and I got a couple more too. So we're gonna get the beads in the right side of the stick. And so if you have a mirror, you can in front of you like this. I think we got another person. Yeah, you can come in. Yep. So we're just getting started. I'm going through the drills that we're gonna do to start out. So so let's see. So you got we'll wait for him to get back, but we're gonna have pairs of 2. So okay, so if you're face on with the mirror and you have the saber stick, you're gonna have the beads fall to everybody's right-handed, correct? Okay, so we're gonna just put the beads here in our elbows, and we're gonna get in our golf posture, golf setup where we're balanced middle of our feet, okay? And then we don't want to be towards our toes or heels. We want to be shoulder width apart. And then if you watch yourself in the mirror, I want you to stay in that posture and turn, and you can see the beads have dropped to this end, right? So that means our shoulder turn is on the correct plane, right? Because we don't want to turn too flat like this. So if you go like this, and we're also going to put, I forgot, a golf ball. So like if we were hitting a 7-iron, just, around middle of your stance, maybe a hair forward. So get lined up to that like you're going to hit it. Put this in your elbows in that weight center of your feet. Turn the hips, shoulders, and you want the stick to point just outside the golf ball line. Okay, but you want to be cautious that you don't like do this because you want to turn real centered back and through, and then the beads will drop again just to make sure your shoulder plane is on the right position. But then your hips are going to turn really centered as you do that. You're going to get your hips going back, hips going through, and at this point, when this is pointing out the ball, you should be slightly off your right heel. Okay? We're this way down the line. If you guys have ever taken a lesson with video and you see the swing plane line going through the hip, kind of right here. So if you turn like that, you can see this line is pretty horizontal, right? Where we want to have our shoulders on a tilt where it's kind of like pointed at the ball, but on that swing plane line. Does that make sense? And you just want to be cautious that you're real centered. And when you load, you want to make sure you're more towards your right heel versus the ball of your foot. Center of your foot is fine, but you want to make sure you don't go towards the ball. You're more in the heel. And then going back down, you unwind the left hip, go into the left heel, and then you're there. And that's 1 rep. So we'll do a set of 10, or if you have a bad back, you might want to do a set of 5. So then for how the arms swing in the as you turn. So if you get your arms just hanging straight below you in that same posture setup, and I want you to swing your arms on that same shoulder plane, right? So you're getting your hips going, your shoulders going, real relaxed and loose, just swinging up and down or on that shoulder plane. Okay, so you'll do a set of 10 of those. We're going to do transition, sequencing to the backswing to downswing. So yeah, that's a Gabe trainer that has beads in it. So, but I would go to that one if you're more experienced and advanced. It'll get super frustrating if you're not hitting it solid. So this is kind of a starter level to get you the feel of the proper transition. So not recording right there, so I can give it to you guys after. Yeah. Oh, you're good there. It's just that fun there. Oh yeah, that camera doesn't matter. what I want you to do is swing everything properly to the top, and when your shoulders stop, your arms stop. So you can see that where my hands are at the top and where the club is, right? It's not like this. So unless you're able to turn, I can't, 120 degrees, your club shouldn't really get to parallel. It should just be nice and wide right there, and your hands kind of in front of your shoulder. So after you get that motion down, when the beads hit the butt of the club, just use your body to pivot through as aggressively as you can, but in balance and hold the balance, okay? So then we'll do like 8 to 10 reps of that. You want your arms relaxed, and as you swing, this left arm's going to stay more straight than the right arm. There's no real perfect position, but as I turn to the top, this arm should naturally kind of do this. You're not thinking of any particular Not really, no. As long as you're loose and relaxed, it should kind of naturally, the right arm should kind of fold there. As I turn through, this one's going to start to fold here. Yeah, I just try to think of I'm keeping it as wide as I can, but like this can only, extend that much. So you're still gonna have, you just don't want a chicken wing, or you just kind of want this in front of the seam line of your shirt. Okay. So after you get the technique down, like in the right positions, then you can start speeding it up, but you don't want to go fast and train it wrong, right? But if you're comfortable after you do this, then you can grab the Gabe trainer, which has beads in it, right? So then you can start to hit shots. So go to the top, beads drop, turn through, and hold the finish. Okay? So that just gets your transition from back to downswing really consistent. For those of you that haven't really taken lessons, like this is your club path and your club face where it's pointing at impact, or where your club is swinging, right or left, where your face is pointing, right or left. So it helps you get a consistent path and face once you have, because everybody gets in transition, they start hurrying down, they're tilting all over the place. So if you can just get to the top, freeze, relax the arms, and pivot as hard as you can, but in balance, and hold your finish, then you're going to start to have consistent ball striking, because you're using your big muscles to bring it through versus, oh, I got to swing more right or swing more left. But you got to be really relaxed with the arms. I think they're for like core workouts, like you slide them, like, but I haven't used it for that. So it's gonna kind of slide around, right? So you got it's balance. So a lot of people get to the top and then they push too early, and their foot will slide out. So I recommend definitely going slow at first. So you get to the top and be able to control that right foot so you don't push and lunge out ahead of it. Okay, and I also don't want you to just, hang back and hit it either, but try to get the right swing motion, but you're not pushing too early and sliding out ahead of it. Does that make sense? So there's little hooks on the front of your hips there, and is there a couple on the back, or do I need to twist it? Oh, there's one. So, so So you're gonna get the center of your feet here on the power pill, like kind of up against the slopes and like the arches of your feet on this white line. And so you're gonna turn back, and you're gonna kind of have to press into that slope there. Okay. So no one, I don't know if you've watched like Rory and Matt Wolf, these younger guys that hit it forever, but what they've discovered is when I was I'm 36, up until about 5-10 years ago, they're teaching like close the knees up through impact. But what they're realizing is that's not necessarily what you want to do, because people push and they lunge out ahead of it. So what you're going to do here is get a good turn to the top. Then I want you to keep the arms up, and I want you to get the hips back to square, right? And you're in this squat here. And then I just want you to push up. Well, see, and I fell back. So it's adding resistance, so you get your hips more powerful, and you're using the ground correctly through impact, like those guys do. So you're there, go to there. Now explode off of it and try to hold your balance. It's pulling me towards the heels. There, go to here, and I want